Light setup. Light is probably one of the most important things that is very underrated when it comes to live performances and recording your sets for presentation online. And I think that is a problem because when you're just starting out and you want to get booked, you're going to be sending some links. You can send some SoundCloud files, but if you can have pretty decent videos of you playing, it will probably help you get better booking. So what I was thinking, this is Worm, that place that I played last weekend, and it was my first tryout of playing modular live, which was exciting and challenging, and there is a lot to be said about improvement in terms of the live performance. But when I got back home and I looked at the footage I took, I felt like I should share the insight from how I set up the light and camera there, so other musicians who are just starting out could use that as reference and learn how to get better video recordings of your performances. Bottom line, if you think about it, everything that you'll capture on video will stay there forever, and the experience itself that you had here is... Yes, they are setting up for another show here. The experience that you have on the spot is magical, but you really need to make sure that it's captured well online. So the way it was constructed is pretty simple. I had a table over there, and I had two LED lights, two RGB lights. They're not that expensive. This is something like €100 each, but you can also get really small ones that would be as effective and cost about, I don't know, 30 or 40 euros. I'll link them below. My point is, the budget for the light is not that expensive. Now, the camera that I used is quite expensive. It's the Sony A7 III, and that is a beast. And it captures really good low light. But at the same time, I looked at videos that friends of mine took with their phones, and they also looked pretty good. And that means that the light was doing its job. Even if you did not really have a good camera in this setup, you could actually capture pretty decent videos and photos. If you look at the colors I used, these are RGB lights. One of them is sort of purple blue, and the other one is sort of orange red. And these are complementary colors, so they work really well together. It almost feels like this red yellow light is like burning from under the modular, which brings a lot of attention to this bottom part of the picture. Then if you look at the light on the left, it gives only like a hint of my face on my body, so it creates a lot of dynamics and a lot of atmosphere. You add to this the smoke that comes every once in a while, and you have a very interesting composition that is quite dynamic. So the first thing is you really need to get good lights. Good lights. Now, the second thing is, if you look at the composition, it is structured in such a way that you have space. I'm using the black space as part of the composition. The light is set up in such a way that it complements the darkness. And because there is background light as well, and there is projection on the back, which is actually, like if you see this frame here, this is a frame that they use for projections, and Dennis was doing live visuals for this show in the back there, and I saw this and I felt like, okay, so if I put my camera right there in the back and it sees the projection, I'll be able to play around with this and it will make a pretty interesting composition. I also have this wall of light here, so all these, they flicker with light once in a while, so I could use this to create dynamics in the shot, in the composition, because I'm using only one angle. Look at the composition.